Hey, what's going on, everybody? For Fifth We Nosh, I'm Sean Ninja Blevins, and you're watching Spiciest Interview. It's the show with questions and even questioner wings. And today we're joined by Janet Garcia. She's the internet's busiest gaming nerd with regular spots on the MinnMax show and Remap Radio while co-hosting the Indie Council and running her own gaming blog, Pen to Pixels, which you can support now on Patreon. Janet Garcia, welcome to the Game Informer show, sir.
Hello. I am so nervous to be here.
Yeah.
I really was like, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna be like all set to go, but I don't know. I have so many emotions.
That's good. That's what
coming
this
into the
show's all
show.
about. How are you with spicy food typically?
Here's the thing. I like spicy food, but I feel like these sauces go into like spicy for like the pain, you know, kind of like the Elden Ring of sauces, if you will. But if there was no coming out the out the other end successful. So that's what I'm afraid of. I'm also astutely aware that I'm making history today, as I think I'm right on this, the first person of color to do this challenge.
That's right.
And that's so, the pressure is insane because I didn't watch the other episodes because I didn't want like spoilers for like the fork. I mean, it's asking questions, but you know what I mean? I'm like, no, I just want to go in, but I'm like, man.
There's different
it's like-
expectations.
Exactly. But I feel like maybe win-win. Like if I do well, it's like repping the community. If I do badly, like, you know, bucking stereotypes. So I don't know. I think we can sell this no matter what, but I am worried for how my PR is going to handle this after, if it doesn't
Yes,
go
they're
my
ready
way.
for DEF CON 1. This is New Show Plus. This is our 6th episode of Spiciest Interview, which is record-breaking for a New Show Plus series. It's the new longest one we've done, and it was record-breaking for the amount of votes we had this week on what we should do, because the other options, as always, were really strong. And I'm kind of torn on our new record-breaking show going the furthest, being someone else's format.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, other people. Well, I feel like we've borrowed formats before.
Certainly.
So, you know, but I get what you mean. It's not the excitement is a little dampered, but at the same time, like, how does it feel to be the face of the future? Am I allowed to ask you any questions also, or is that a faux pas? Is it answers only for me, or what's the situation?
That's what I like to change up the format, as it's a little more conversational. And I went with that because I want attention too.
I think that's valid.
Thank you.
I mean, this is really just an ego project that everyone else is paying for
Big
at the end
time,
of the day.
big time. Can't walk at the questions. Let's get into that first wing.
All right, so let's see. I'm making sure I got the right one.
What season of sauces are you rocking with? Do you know?
What season? Oh, what season is this? This is season 23.
Okay, and I think they just wrapped
Are you
24.
also-
So that's pretty new.
Oh,
I could be totally wrong.
I gotta get this thing open.
H10's more. Thanks for gifting
this
a sub.
This one's the buffalo sauce. Someone in the chat asked if Isaiah made the wings. He did not. I got Wingstop wings, and then I went and reheated them this morning because Wingstop opens exactly as the show is starting, so I had to like do a reheat.
Scooby-Doo style.
I think that's fine. What about you, Leah? What you got over there?
I got wings from a local place. You typically get them with no sauce because you're adding your own sauce, but I'm like kind of I don't know, peasant-minded. It's like, why limit myself on flavor? Let's overdo it. So I got my sauces on a dry rub, and then they'll move to on a buffalo wing.
Yeah, mine are plain, allegedly. I've never gotten really like plain from Wingstop, but how much do I have to put on here for? This is just buffalo sauce, so it doesn't really matter. But...
No, I mean a decent bit. They're fully coated in the Hot Ones proper, but we don't need to
okay.
copy that. I pretty much coated mine because the early one is just yummy. Be more cautious later.
Cool. Well, I like mostly coated mine because it's not that deep.
Nice.
All right, first wing.
Cheers.
It's good. But I will say the fact that this one itself has some spice is scary.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good spice. It's like very, very tolerable. And I like that it's kind of like, it feels layered. Like, I feel like a lot of spiciness, it's a big like pop. And this feels like that spicy flavor.
It rewards rolling it around in the mouth. Janet, who was the MVP in Animal Football League, and what position did they play?
Okay. So Animal Football League is a football league that my brother created for when we were kids. And it was our stuffed animals, and they played in the league. And the field was the carpet in my living room, and like the ends of the carpet were like the end zones.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know if we had an MVP. I know we had like Super Bowls and stuff. Sorry if we get sued for that after the fact. I don't know.
Big games. You had big games.
I guess. The big game. Yeah, we had the big game, you know.
A big game.
I don't know. I would say the quarterback obviously plays a big role. That was Bell Bottom Boy. He was a little zebra. And then Dobie was a sort of wide receiver / linebacker. There weren't enough animals, I think, to have
Dobie.
The spread. I have them here actually with me.
Great. Yeah, let's run through the lineup for the upcoming draft. Oh, she went to a different room. We heard a door latch there, folks. We're getting the real stuff.
Okay.
Is he always eating wings like a monster?
So these are who I would pick.
Okay.
This is them. These are the real of the time. Who knows what these sell for on eBay, given
millions.
You know, the notoriety of their place in the league.
Yes. But... I mean, millions for just a year contract.
This one got kind of chunkier because we washed him one day and he came out all swole. And there's another one just like him and he's still skinny. So this one's like...
certainly better for certain positions on the field.
Exactly. So there you go. I had these since I was like, I don't know, maybe 7? Something like that.
That's sweet that you kept them.
They're still hanging out?
I think my parents have a sack.
They're one of the few things I still have.
I think my parents have a sack of all the Beanie Babies at home somewhere, yet to be poured through for the most nostalgic ones.
Yeah, I think this one's definitely a Beanie Baby. This one is... I think this one says a lot about where I came from socially and economically. It's like random corner store toy vibe. I don't know. If anyone knows this man, please call the number on your screen.
He doesn't have
Thank
a tag
you.
with a little name?
No, I mean, he kind of does. But it's like so faded that I know it might not focus all the way. It's like there's no way.
Wow.
But I know like I had one that was, his name was Blueberry, and he's like, you know how they have stuffed animals on scrunchies for like little girls? I cut him off the scrunchie, and then we like sewed his back so that he wasn't like spilling his guts, and then that was just the toy I had. So
powerful statement.
Who knows what this guy went through to get here, but he's here now.
I'm keeping it in Janet Jr. territory. What are the pros and cons of going to preschool in a library?
Oh my god. I'm so curious how you found that out. I feel like I've talked about it, but at the same time, it's such a deep cut. Okay.
We have people everywhere.
The pros are it's free. The cons are you're not actually learning anything, you're just being read to. But that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was the situation.
Okay. Did you get any lifetime favorite books from that experience?
No, I have like one vague memory of like the formatting. And then it was also weird because like my mom would stay, but she was the only parent that would stay because it's like meant to be like drop off your kid and then like you browse the library. And she's like, nah, I'm just gonna hang out in the back. And I'm like, this is kind of weird, but all right, like no one else's parents here. So it's like I feel like it's unique to have no one else's parents here at that young of an age, because that's like well, usually that's like when parents are around, you know, like when you're really little. So I'm like, wow, like no one's here, but you're here. That's kind of awkward, but you know, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's in hindsight, it's like almost, you know, there's something nice about it too, of course, the parent being there. But as a kid, it's like you're so sensitive to that stuff. I got made fun of for hugging my mom before I got on the school bus. They called me Mama's boy.
Oh.
In kindergarten.
Were you a mama's boy?
Big time.
Were you like aware that you were, or did you like come to terms with that at a later age? Or were you like, I'm not a mama's boy, I'm just a boy who loves his mom?
Yeah, I mean, I think at that age, maybe you assume whatever you're up to is normal in a lot of cases. And that specifically was like, yeah, we all love our moms as much because they are responsible for everything fun in our lives. Shouts out my mom. Still a mama's boy. Oh. Wing number 2. Let's get into it.
All right. This one is Sam's House, Smokey J. Oh, you're shaking him before. Am I supposed to be shaking him?
Doesn't hurt.
I like the design. It's got a very, like, 420-esque design, which, like, shout out to those who celebrate.
Yes, big weekend. It was the palindromic 420, huh?
Yeah.
Big one. That was like Eclipse Volume 2.
I had to remember what that word, like, was for it. So that was a good refresher.
And it might not even be
everybody.
real. So you kind of had to assume what the word was. Palindromic. Cheers. Another twist I'm doing on the Hot Ones formula is I'm dipping them in blue cheese because I like blue cheese and this is my lunch.
This one I don't like as much. It kind of tastes... It's weird. It kind of tastes like salsa verde, but with, like, hotter, but, like, with less stuff in it. It's like it tastes like watery salsa verde.
Yummy.
I think.
My two favorite things. You've been a big defender of the Horizon series.
Salsa.
That's right. You've been a big defender of the Horizon series over the years, along with your lackey, Jeffem. Why do you think that series has become such an easy target for haters?
Man, this is a question that keeps me up at night, Leo. Because, like, what is the reason? I think it is because it came out when Breath of the Wild came out. So everyone was like, oh, not Breath of the Wild? And then it didn't help that it came out again when because I think Elden Ring was the other big release. They're not the same game, though, so I feel like that wasn't as deep. But now it's kind of like, now it's a meme. It's like, oh, can't wait for the game of the year to come out when Horizon comes out. But Horizon won't be that game.
Right.
So I think that's the issue. I think it started out being almost like, it is a much better game than this, even though, which is funny to say because I haven't played this other game that I'm going to drag to the mud, I guess. But what is it called? It's called the Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yes.
I feel like even though it is I feel pretty comfortable saying that it's a better game than Immortals, despite not having played Immortals. But I feel like it got Immortals where people were like, oh, it's this other thing. Except Immortals has the opposite. It has like a little bit more of a champion feel. People were like, you know what? You guys need to check this out. And this is just not that other thing.
Because it's like a Sony Prestige title, it's like, you kind of don't feel the need to defend it or fight for it. As an outsider, it's like, this is getting a lot of support automatically.
Yeah, I think too, it's new IP. So I feel like I honestly really think it's that Breath of the Wild release. That like sort of, everyone took it and was like, I mean, it's not that good. It's like fine, And now, because also it's not like it's necessarily iterating to a big degree. So they're like, oh, it's still just like what it already is. The kind of thing I always go back to is I feel like it is pretty clearly the same quality of Ghost of Tsushima, but people like that game a lot more. I don't know if it's just maybe samurai swords are more fun than shooting robots, which I feel like that's not true, but I don't know. Clearly, and I think I will say one thing that Ghost has going for it over Horizon is like, I think the depth of combat in terms of skills. So I wonder if people just thought it was too basic. Like it's kind of a simple game to play. Like you don't have to, if you know a lot, you can have a lot of fun with it. But I feel like the skill level isn't as much. So then people are like, I don't know. I think also something about the structure kind of gives Ubisoft a little bit, and people hate Ubisoft. So I feel like that's the mix.
Yeah.
Of why people are like,
it's a lot of different factors.
I guess it's fine.
But it is like a deadly cocktail of, I could be choosing to give this treatment to any other number of games that are mostly exactly like Horizon. But Horizon is the cocktail of things that becomes a focal point. I feel like I treat it with less respect than I do other games of the similar ilk, and I wonder why that is. And I think the release date there is really something to the psychology of it, of forever associating it as Horizon Zero Dawn is versus Breath of the Wild, is versus Elden Ring, Elden Ring,
yeah.
wow, Freudian.
Which is also wild, because like when I first saw it, like, and I think I still have this footage somewhere online, and where I couldn't remember the name of, also the name of the game is not very good. First time I learned it, I was like, Horizon, the what? Like what? Like, so there's that. But the second I saw it, I was like, this looks like Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild hadn't come out yet. And I'm like, oh gosh. And then never shook it. So even me, I played that game late. I didn't play it because I was playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's real. Let's get into wing number 3.
Sure. This is Funky's hot sauce. And it's got like a little guy. I assume his name is Funky. I don't know. Maybe he's just Funky's friend.
He knows Funky.
He's a fox. He's a fox, and he's wearing like some pajamas. Well, maybe it's that thing, and I hate that in games when it's like, I think we need to stop doing this in video games, where it's like, Celeste is the name of the mountain. The woman, she's actually Madeline. Or like, what's the other? I'm tired of this Frankenstein's monster. Yeah, Zelda's like that too. It's actually the original one of that. Why do people make their games like that? To make people get exposed in their fakeness? Like, what is the situation there?
Good question. I think there's something to, like, it seems cooler to name your game after a different concept than the main character's name. Something a little more artful to that. That's how it feels to me.
I think the issue is, like, Metroid Samus also has that. Yeah, so, as with most things, blame Nintendo.
That's right, when in doubt. Cheers.
Cheers. It's pretty good. I like this one. It's garlic habanero. I love garlic. Like, just like I like double garlic in every recipe I have. And one time I got a recipe from someone that also seemingly doubled their garlic. I'm like, do I double what I think was already doubled? Like, do I dare? I don't know.
It's hard to go wrong. I also, you know, the recipe
so
calls for
good.
3 cloves of garlic, and I know they don't mean the giant Frico ones I happen to have, but I'm doing
the
3 full
bulbs.
ones, yeah.
Oh, you do?
No, not full bulbs,
wow.
but just like cloves that are clearly bigger than they expect bulbs to be. Or, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
cloves.
And then there's also, like, because the cloves are all different sizes, I'm like, well, this is, like, half of one, right? Like, surely they don't mean this little tiny bit.
Yeah, this doesn't make a difference. How's your sauce?
This is probably my favorite in taste.
Okay.
Now. It's really
Nice.
good. Because of the garlic. It's garlic habanero. I think garlic is just so good. Put it on anything. Even when if you start cooking garlic, people will be like, wow, you're making something incredible. It's like,
know.
I'm just heating up the garlic.
Ray's always like, it smells amazing, baby. I'm like, it's just the onions right now, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Like, I literally opened a bottle. It's like, I'm not doing anything,
Yeah.
but I'll take the credit.
Can you tell us what it's like to put on boxing gloves and beat the crap out of children?
Yeah. It's scary. So I took a boxing class at like the Chicago Park District back in 2015 or 14 kind of time. Like I was in college. I went over the summer with a friend from high school who lived in Chicago as well. And super fun. But at a certain point, you got to spar with people. And boxing is based on weight. And if you've ever seen me, I'm pretty small. So, and I think on camera, obviously, you only see like our floating heads. It's like, do we exist outside these squares? We have no way of knowing. But I'm only 5 feet tall and I'm pretty thin. So I'm like tiny.
And you're
I don't weigh a
standing right
lot.
now with the back of a gamer chair strapped to your back.
Exactly. Yeah,
creates
this
an
is all
illusion.
green screened right
Yes.
here. Like this is a children's gamer chair. Like
Right.
so I got paired with quite literally a little girl. Like she was probably like max age, maybe 14. Like maybe. But honestly, she might have been 12. I don't remember. But she was like definitely like a young girl.
Yeah.
And then there was me who was like, you know, I'm not super old because I'm still in college, but I'm like, I'm almost old enough to drink, you know, at this point in my life. And I started boxing a couple weeks before that. She was born boxing. She's been
Oh.
boxing since she was like 4. So I'm like, all right, look,
Wow.
I get it. I get the weight distribution. I'm like, we need no other small. And my friend was also really small, but she was like a little bit like taller than me. So she went with like somebody else. So she had also fought like a little girl, but the little girl was like older, like 17 or 16. So, yeah, I mean, she was just really good, and I was really scared. Like, I tried to hit. I don't even know if I landed anything on her. And it's really scary, too, when you go to spar for the first time, because, like, our coach was like, all right, like, they do that thing where they hold the back of your head, and they put their hand on your nose, and they, like, rub it, like you're Santa going through the door, if you're familiar with that piece of Santa lore. So that, like, when you get punched in the face, your nose might not break. I was like, hold on. This is my stop right here. I don't think we need to do this. Yeah. That's why my first and maybe close to last sparring. I maybe sparred one other time, but I'm like, I don't want to fight people. Like, I like boxing. I like hitting stuff. I don't want to fight somebody.
Yeah, I mean, were you naturally,
Physically.
like, holding back? I feel like that would be my problem. It feels
I was
weird
just
to go for it.
trying. I think I was just trying not to get hit. Because it's also like sporting wise, you're trying to, you want to land. It's not like you're just like wailing on people. It's like you want to like, bob and weave, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I definitely was still trying. Because if you have gloves on and you're not like, I don't know. It's not like you're getting jumped in an alley. Like it's all supervised.
Sure.
So I feel like even if you wanted to go in on someone, like it wouldn't be like, I guess it could get really wet if you fell and they just like didn't call it or something. But it felt pretty tame. Like it really wasn't that serious, but it was just like, oh my gosh, like this person's like way better than me skill wise. Like, sure, they're like, their mom's picking them up, but like skill wise,
yeah,
they can hand it to me. So that's what's like to fight Trill. It's horrifying. A skilled child. I'm like, oh my god, your parent supported your interests. It's over. It's over. I was like,
no greater advantage.
It's like, holy cow, yeah, that's what it's like.
Based on your experience teaching, what's wrong and what's right with kids these days?
Oh, jeez, what's wrong? I feel like it's the stuff that's always the situation. I think sometimes maybe trying too hard to be cool. I think also I think being obsessed with this is wrong with people in general, so it's not really a kid specific thing. I think being obsessed with the outcome of things. Some of my really skilled students were really like, what do I need to do to get an A? Like, what do I need to do to get an A? Oh, I have an A? Cool, I'm done with their like revisions. And I was really big on trying to encourage like students to embrace like learning for the sake of learning. It's like, okay, the grades are just about like, you understand the standard at like, that's like a C. And then above that, it's like, oh, you're doing really well in this standard. But like, just because you got an A doesn't mean that you've written your best work. Like, it just means that you have like this level of proficiency in the skill, but there's still like things to be doing.
And of meeting the specific
so I really tried to like, so I really tried to like encourage them to like see it that way. And then same for the inverse. If you're less interested in school, it's like, hey, I get it. You're not gonna do something with English. That's fine. But like, here are the real life applications on why it's important to like have an understanding of things like logical fallacies and like, really try to bring in real world things of like, see how in terms of politics, in terms of advertising, having an awareness of this stops you from getting kind of played, essentially, right? Like, you'll know what ways you might be being manipulated, what ways you can also implore language to make your points and to like persuade people and to do all these other things. Like, it's really cool and it's a really incredible skill to have, and that's very valuable outside of like, I get if you don't want to read The Great Gatsby or think it's boring. Like, that's kind of fair. It's like, it's also a little bit of a taste thing, right?
For
so
sure.
I think that's kind of what's wrong. What's right? I don't know. I mean, they're just like, kids are so great. Like, they're so, I don't know. Like, I think they're on the whole, obviously as they get older, they get more, neurotic and bogged down. But I think a lot of kids are willing to just like pursue their interests, to like be themselves. I think too, like, especially this generation of kids, I feel like they're a lot more sociologically aware and open-minded to like learning about, being, I think, inclusive of other people. And like, I've had students like check their peers on things and like explain to them like, hey, like, that's kind of like toxic to say or whatever. And I think as we progress in time, like, more of that is moving forward. Like, I remember like things in my high school that like, oh, my students would never say the stuff that like maybe we said as they were trying to like push those initiatives to like become more understanding and like have a more like ethical society. So I do think this is one of the, like, as we progress in time, like, people are getting more and more sociologically aware, and that's probably, I think, the biggest asset kids have. And there's probably an angle of social media too, but mostly I was just scared that Fortnite Mobile came out when I was teaching, and I'm like, oh god, like, guys, I know it dropped, like, please.
Did you have to take a lot of phones?
It wasn't too bad, but I don't think I ever took a phone. And then you're getting into like this weird power play, and it's like weird to have your phone. I have had to tell students to get off their phone, and because I was aware of like what video games are, I'm like, hey, dude, you can't be playing a game in here. Like, that's really disrespectful. It's like super disrespectful. Like, come on, like, what's up? And usually most kids were pretty receptive to like, I didn't have a lot of like, I don't know, super antagonistic or like disrespectful students. I think too, at the end of the day, it's just about like understanding where they're coming from. Like, you have so much going on sociologically in high school that like, yeah, the last thing you care about, it's like we kind of care about opposite things. Like, you care about your social life and I care about you learning. And it's like, hey, I get it, but let's all come together for this like 45 or 90 minutes and just spend some time doing what we need to do. And then we like go and deal with our other stuff, because like, yeah, you know, it's kind of that balance.
Yeah, that's a tough line to ride. My power play was I kept my PSP in a sock. And so when my teacher would come to confiscate it, I would put it in the sock and hand it to them. So they had to hold one of my socks. So it was like I had the last laugh. How would you have responded to that?
The PSP specifically, or like
the sock carrying case for any portable?
I would say I don't need the sock, just the PSP.
Fair.
Yeah. Usually my rebuttal, if it's something like that, is I just approach it really seriously, which also works on internet trolls as well. I'm like, oh, I don't get it. What's funny? And they're like, oh, you know, a lot of times if you just ask them to explain it, they realize like, oh, I'm just trolling, you know? It's like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yes. Let's get into wing number 4. And of course, I wouldn't do that today. This sock maneuver. I would never. I respect our nation's teachers.
I brought my PSP to my students, and they like didn't. They tried to open one of the UMDs, which is so valid because when I first saw UMD, I'm like, do you?
We all did, yes. I guess I take the discount. Like, why can't I access the?
Is it super sealed? This is Los Calientes, Verde. So I'm curious how this tastes compared to the other one, the little smoky one. I feel like as long as we're in that top row, I can put a pretty regular glob.
Yeah, standard glob moment. This is a standard glob moment.
Oh, this is a lot better. And weirdly enough, it tastes less hot. It tastes less spicy than the other one. This also just tastes like salsa verde, but it tastes less like watery. It tastes a little chunkier.
Love a chunky sauce.
Yeah. It's pretty good, even though it is kind of just weird that it's like a salsa verde. But I could see this with like the right wing rub being like, you know, some type of kind of cultural crossover dish style. Like, oh, these are like seasoned with like Mexican seasonings, and then we have like the very, you know, kind of like almost like an elote style wing or something that you'd maybe see at a place where you're like, how authentic is this restaurant? I don't know. Like, let's look at what's the bathroom look like at this place? Because I got some questions.
Yeah, like an elote salad or elote pizza type of place.
Oh, man, the elote salads are rough. It's like it's still just the flavors, but it just feels weird. It's like, what's going on here?
Can you rank?
Is there a version of that for like white people? Because you guys don't really have like
culture,
the dish, you know? Yeah. Is there like a way I can make a casserole? That's like is there like a reverse racism of casserole? Yeah.
Good question. Yeah, like a casserole.
If I were
burrito.
to take your culture, what would I have taken, and how can I make it mine?
I'm brainstorming my culture. It's like John Wick movies. I don't know. Made like a John Wick corn dish. I'd be super offended by that.
We'll think of something.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
It's about time we come up with something.
Yes, long overdue. Can you rank the best ways to kill time at the Layton Lake train station?
That's such a specific one. God, I feel bad that it's been so long. I'm trying to picture where Layton Lake is at. Best ways to kill time? I mean, probably just being on your phone, honestly.
The phone?
Yeah. Because our stations in Chicago don't really have anything going on. Like, it was really interesting going to, I went to New York for the first time, like, a few weeks ago, and, like, that transit system is so verbose and, like, layered. Like, oh, you go down this way, and then there's, like, 8 different lines. So I'm like, you know, and I went with Isaiah, and we're going to Chicago a few months from now, his first time there, and I'm like, dude, when you go to Chicago, you're gonna be like, this is, like, very, very minimal, because I'm like, are you going this way or that way? There's only one train here. Right. Like, there's the loop where there's all of the lines converge, where it's like, oh, you might have like purple, or well, you know, whatever, brown line, whatever. I know why purple was the first thing I named, because I don't even think that's a line there. But like, you'll have orange or whatever. But like, other than that, it's like there's not a lot of. There's like one tunnel we have. Like, there's just not a lot of ways to even go. You know. So yeah, a few train stations might have like a little store in them, but I'd say most probably don't.
Did you have to wait long enough where it was an issue, or how are the trains that way?
They're really fast. I would say most trains come within like during my time, like 10 minutes or less.
That's amazing.
12 maybe max.
That's the dream.
I think there's maybe some trains that take longer. I feel like the Brown line is either it takes longer to get there or it's just slow. Like something about the way it almost feels when you ride the Brown line downtown, it feels like you're on like almost like a Ferris wheel speed. Even though I know it's not true because I'm sure you're going much faster, but it's just like it's kind of just like you're just kind of slowly turning a corner. It's like, all right.
Ferris wheel speed
So
is
there's
such a
that,
specific image that really paints a picture.
Yeah.
What does it take to try out for the Walter Payton cheerleading squad?
Oh my God, did I try out? I don't think I tried out.
One
of my friend Clarissa, who I boxed with.
I think I trust our sources over.
Ooh. I don't know, because I don't remember trying out, but I think you had to do a dance routine. I don't think I tried out though.
Okay.
I know my friend Clarissa tried out and she made it, and she is the one I boxed with actually. So like, shout out to Clarissa. Clarissa's awesome. I hope you're watching this. Probably not, because I haven't talked to you in 10 years. But yeah, I think it's like I remember I did look into it though, because I asked about it. And they mentioned like, oh, you'd be good for like, I forgot the name of the role, but like basically the top of the pyramid because I'm so small.
Sure.
Like, oh, we could just like yeet you up there. And I'm like, I think this is my stop. You know, once again, I spend most of my time just living in fear. I'm just a very afraid person.
Okay.
And I feel that fear today on this show.
Right on. Well,
but I'm comforted by these questions. So thank you.
There goes my shot at getting in the Walter Payton cheerleading squad, but that's fine. Guess I'll find someone else to ask. Let's get to wing number 5.
All right. This is queso sin queso. I was like, do I want to read it in Spanish or English? Queso sin queso. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's always that like
Cheese with cheese.
I don't know. It feels almost like saying like croissant. Like it's like, what are we doing here? You know, maybe I don't need to. You know what I mean? Like okay. But
Whatever,
that's so intriguing.
I'll tell you right now, from my perspective / our perspective, whatever you do was the right choice.
Okay. Safe decision. Plant-based queso style. Okay, so it's gonna taste like it, but it isn't it. I almost wish I didn't know. I wish I didn't read that it was plant-based. Because then I wanted to see like what the vibe was. Okay, let's see.
That is always the play with baked goods and stuff. Like gluten-free, just don't lead with it. You get an unbiased reaction.
This is really good.
Nice.
The spice comes in late. This is like really, really good. Yeah, shout out to this. It's a pretty mild spice. Oddly enough, I feel like this. I don't know if it's just like an acclamation, but I feel like the spiciest thing was like the first or second thing. Maybe the second thing. Whatever that was.
Video game wokeness. It's a hot button issue. What are the key ingredients to a good platformer?
Okay.
Sorry.
I would say the jump needs to be fun to do.
Yeah.
You need to feel like, if I'm not jumping all the time, like obviously you jump because of the platforms to get to the end of the level. But if I'm not jumping all the time, you didn't make a good platformer. Because it should be fun to do that. Like, what is the first thing everyone does in Mario 64 besides maybe whip the camera around? It's that triple jump. You know, maybe towards the castle, you go to the side if you're a, weirdo or something. But most people, that's what you're doing. That's the thrill of the game. And that's one of the things that makes it like so good, despite I acknowledge that it's a little dusted and busted in the modern era. Playing that for the first time, people being like, is this your king? I'm like, hey, it hit different when you were like 5, all right? So like, don't come for me.
It's true.
The design is still sound. Yeah, I think that's the number one thing, really, just the feel. But I think too, having some fun abilities. Like, I don't think you need to go too far with it. I've played like one of my favorite platformers in recent history is like Kid Trip. It's like these little like super cheap games on Switch, and they're like auto runners, but you have to like jump, and they're really hard. Which is like shots of this game. It's like pretty good, and all you do is jump. So it's not you need to have something, but I think a double jump goes a long way. Wall jumps go a long way. I think there are like really classic, fun conventions to the genre that you can employ that are always enjoyable for people that like it. Like on the MinnMax show, I talked the other day about loving like when you grab onto a pole and you like swing back and forth to like jump onto the next one. Like that's fun in every game. Like when I did that in Uncharted 4, I was like, they might have cooked with this one. I was early in the game when you like go to the little place and you're dressed in your little tuxedo and all that. Like it's like that stuff's just so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think good jump feel, and a smart implementation of additional abilities.
I'm gonna give you a type of platform, and you tell me whether it's a fun platform or a not fun platform in a platformer.
Okay.
Conveyor belt platforms.
No.
Elevator platforms.
Yes.
The ones that fall when you stand on them too long.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Hell yeah. It's easy yes. The other ones, don't even ask me later, because I'll probably give the opposite answer.
The ones on a hinge where you need to stand on one side so the other side lifts up high enough, and then you can sprint and jump off to get where you need to go.
I'm gonna say fun.
Okay.
But dangerous, because I think I feel like that could be annoying depending on how you do it.
Good answers. Now we know how to make the perfect platformer.
Okay. There we go.
What's the most underrated stage in Super Smash Bros. Melee?
Ooh, underrated? This is tough because I don't know what the community really rates the stages as.
I feel like
to
anything
me,
but the Zelda one. That feels like the most mainstream stage to me.
See, that's the one. It's my favorite one. I guess outside of that and outside of Final, because I think those are like the two high ones. I think nah, F Poke Floats, man. That thing sucks. Like I like playing it because it's like we're just having fun, you know. But Poke Floats, don't meet me there. Like I'm not meeting up in Poke Floats. I like the one. Is it DK's Jungle where it's like there's like the floating platforms on the water? Is that Donkey Kong? I imagine. Who else lives there? It's gotta be Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Jungle.
I think that one's pretty fun because it has like slight variation. Like I think that, and I hope I'm naming the right stage. I think it's also the one where like the turtle comes out of the water at one point. What's the one where the turtle comes out of the water at one point? There's also a balloon in there.
Is that a Wind Waker
one? Oh wait, Jungle Japes maybe? Great Bay. It might be Great Bay. That sounds right.
Great Bay.
I'm gonna just assume the last one that was said is the one that is correct. That's a wait, what? I don't know where it is, y'all. Yeah, Great Bay.
Majora's Mask one. I love to see
Mask.
two first-time chats saying it's the Majora's Mask one. They absolutely needed us to know.
I do love.
And it broke the silence. I really love that.
What makes people go like? I love like I hate to like put the first-time chatters in the spot, but I do love seeing like in my mind I'm always like, so that's what got me. Had you like burst through the door?
Totally. I do love that it highlights that. I think that's fun.
Couldn't stay silent. Yeah. Honestly, like it is so beautiful to only speak when moved.
Yes.
Like can't relate because I'm always talking, but like that sounds really
not
graceful.
our line of work.
Nice.
Particularly, but
yeah,
we respect it.
I could never, but like I love that for you.
Here comes wing number 6.
Okay. This is Bourbon Maple Reaper.
Oh.
I'm definitely getting I feel less nervous, but at the same time, this kind of feels like when you start drinking and you're like, this doesn't even move the needle as much because it's like it's like the buildup, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't really know.
You're maintaining a spice level.
Yeah. Or maybe put a little too much for what this is because we're now in the second row and this is where I'm like, this is my fear zone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, definitely. I mean, again, it's the freaking name of the thing, but you really get that bourbon taste. I think that also helps offset the spice because I was frantically Googling before this, like, does beer help with spiciness? And they're like, not really. I'm like, all right, cool.
Excuses to drink beer daytime.
Yeah, I was like, just checking. And people mentioned though, like, there's like debates on like ABV help or something like height, like for the stronger or certain types of liquors, like over like IPAs. And I think like darker liquors and like boozier stuff got thrown out there at one point. I don't know. This is just one person who Google's opinion, you know, as it usually is on the stuff you consume. Unfortunately, watch out there. Stay safe.
I need that specific addendum on so many more pieces of information.
I'm like, I had read earlier. It's like I saw someone make a video and I didn't check any of their sources. I think I read, yeah.
In college, you and your friends made a shrine with quotes honoring iconic fictional characters who died. Who was on your Mount Rushmore of fictional grief?
Okay, I'm not gonna remember everybody. So like, shout to the people who I forgot. Oh man, it's all spoilers though, is the thing, which we also were kind of aware of. Like, hey, you might get a spoiler if you come through or whatever.
Good point. Yeah, is there any really mainstream ones that everybody knows?
I think we definitely had somebody from either Avatar or Korra, because that was like, I watched that for the first time with my roommates.
And since Korra takes place so
forget
long
who we
after,
had.
pretty much everybody from Avatar could be on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was someone that like it was more of like a dramatic death.
Yeah.
So I feel like somebody from there was on there. Who else did we have? I'm really trying to think. I think we had somebody maybe from Saga, the comic book series. Again, we kind of went to like, what do we like and what do we fuck with? I can't remember if we swear on these shows. I think we
swear double
YouTube,
on this
but-
one because we don't swear on the MinnMax show.
Okay, great. Who the fuck knows what it is? No, okay, I don't remember fully what's on there, but we did pull from IP that we like all liked, and I remember Saga was like a very beloved IP for us. So somebody from Saga was on there. I'm trying to think who else would be on there. I think they were all nerd things though. It was all like, you know, comics or like some form of like anime or something. We didn't have like, I don't know, real actor or like, I don't know, there's not a lot of, outside of like Grey's Anatomy. I feel like deaths on other shows aren't as constantly hitting as like they are in like cartoons and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I wish I could remember more. I can kind of picture like the layout, but I'm like, I can't picture the people, which is sad because, you know, they were forgotten. But that's why we had once you put the shrine down, if you don't put it up every year, you don't remember. That's why with Day of the Dead, you got to keep putting people on there.
Exactly. You forget.
You might forget otherwise.
If you had to update it now, who would you add?
Ooh. This is like good because it's like an early one. The first one I thought of, that one dude, what's his name? Rust or Ross or whatever from Horizon, like her dad figure. It's like shout to him. He was there for that first 3 minutes when my chat was like, I streamed that game the first time I played it, and I'm like, or I maybe tweeted about it, and I was like, okay, this guy's definitely dead. He's giving dead dad vibes, and chat's just like, just play it. And I know, I'm like, and then what happened? I'm like, I know y'all were like, well, there goes those first 5 minutes of the surprise, but I feel like putting him up there.
Dad vibes.
I'd put even though I don't know anything about him really, because they don't do a good job like explaining much about him. I'll put let's see. What do I want to put on there? I'm thinking maybe somebody from like The Last of Us, because The Last of Us is cool, but
But nobody dies in that.
but I don't want to put Joel in there because it's like I don't really fuck with Joel like that. You know what I mean? I'm like God, who could be on there?
Abby's dad.
I don't know. I'd want to do the same thing. I'd want to think about like if I put it like in my office. I guess I'd want to think about I probably would do a game one, like a video game one, and just think about who did I care about. Definitely not, dude. I did not care about Jesse dying. I do not care about those characters in Final Fantasy.
Oh, I see.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I feel like too, it's tough because like there's so many fake out deaths in games. I'm like, who actually died? You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's not a lot of guts to kill people.
And
off.
you're gonna mourn them, and then they're just gonna come back in the next one. Yeah, everybody has worked together to make us not take deaths in media seriously.
Yeah, like it's like there's not a lot of people that end up dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we got again Horizon. It's doing the work no one else. It never gets the credit, but it's doing the work no one else wants to do.
As always. Let's get into wing number 7, the last one before the bomb. I'm enjoying these so much. I'm so glad I'm having them with blue cheese.
So are you eating these like every week?
Pretty much. When Kelsey did carrot
What do you
chips, I
think
did regular
the
chips.
long-term effects of that are going to be?
It's been really varying. When I did the actual 10 sauces, I felt so fine the rest of the day. When I did the 3 I have, the trio, with Kelsey, I was on the floor in stomach pain for like 10 minutes before I could even get up.
I'm having a hard time opening this one. This one's going to be the forbidden fruit.
Ooh.
But I'm like, it's so forbidden that I
can't even access it.
So, yeah. It's one of those. It's like one of those things where like I was pulling it and it stopped like right where, like in a really inaccessible spot where it's like, if it had just gone like 1 centimeter further.
Right.
Okay.
Hate when that happens. Maybe just saber it.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, I have a thing
What?
with me. Here we go. Okay,
What is that
here we go.
thing?
I brought a Cricut, like the thing that you can use to like peel stickers that you make from the Cricut printer.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to like have to use my nails that much because I'm growing them out And one time when I first started growing them out, they like all broke at the same time, one by one, and it was really traumatic. So.
Wow, put those on the shrine.
Okay, now I got it open.
Let's go.
This really does feel like becoming drunk as you go on.
Yes, there's a real chemical reaction.
Why did I put so much? Okay, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
All the better for our fair viewers.
No, okay. All right.
Cheers. They don't have the option of leaning off camera to eat these wings on hot ones. Have to leave fully under the table.
This one's not... I'm scared of this one because the heat hasn't fully hit me. And I think it's going to build a little bit.
You and I worked together with Ana Diaz, Sarah Pods, Blessing Adeoye Jr., and Andy Cortez on Giant Bomb's Summer Game Fest panel in 2023, representing gaming's young people. Why do you think so many of gaming's young people are a different color or gender than gaming's old people?
I think because games are so new, I think like when things get started, they're often straight male, white dominated for the most part. And I think like sociologically, that's probably true of most things. And when it's not true, those are things that are like looked down upon. Like it's like when you see different jobs jump from like different gender demographics, you kind of like see their place in society shift, or like you look at things like, you know, language or like other stuff, like it kind of trickles down that way. And I think also because games, it's interesting, games are like a who you know thing, but it is not impossible to like get to know people. Like I didn't know anybody when I started in the industry, and I know a lot of people now. So I do think people shouldn't be discouraged by that because it's like a who you know thing. And like so many podcasts are like, these are just my friends and all my friends are white, you know? I think so many of those like podcasts and websites started like that with just like a white guy who is friends with other white guys. That's kind of like the base. Like when you think of like, when we look at like the, you know, you look at the old school magazines and it's like our staff and it's like a bunch of white guys and like maybe one not white guy.
Or a white girl.
And like that's it. Exactly, yeah. It's like, okay, they're like, no, now it's diverse. Like we have like, you know, one white woman. So I think as time goes on, like that starts to shift. I think also like gaming becomes more popular in general, and also more accessible and mainstream. So like more people end up playing, because it's like, it reminds me of stuff like, you know, it's like, oh, why don't we see more people sailing? It's like, well, when am I gonna fucking sail? I don't have, you know, I don't have access to that kind of thing. This is really hot. So yeah, I think that's kind of why. I think it's kind of just taken a while for like more people to like grow up from gaining interest in that hobby. This is really fighting back.
You got this.
No, it's the Idris Elba meme. Also, I will say, eating these, natural lip plumper, which is kind of cool.
Oh, great. A good morning routine.
Which is crazy, like, you know when they sell, like, lip plumping tools? This is gonna be hard for someone with a lisp, okay? When they sell that, it's like, apparently that burns really bad. I've never used them, but people were like, oh, did you know that actually just burns the shit out of you? I'm like, oh, I thought I just, well, I don't know. I didn't know how they did it.
It's a bit of radioactive waste that mutates you. That's how they do it.
Yeah. So this one was weird because it was not initially like super hot, but it does stay with you. And if it hits like the back of your throat wrong, like it's like a lot.
There's somehow these little weak spots in our throats where if things hit it the wrong way, we're struggling 10 times as much as we would on the same sauce. You have a great Patreon perk I've never seen before, where you mail a letter to a patron from within a video game world. Are there any letters there that no one else will ever see that you're especially proud of?
Oh yeah, I really like all of them. I think, what are my favorite ones? You know what, let me pull up I have a list on my phone of which ones I've done. And I like the, I'm not much of like, I write a lot, but I don't do a lot of like creative writing. So I like the little challenge of that. I think, let's see, a Deathloop was probably pretty fun just because of like getting the tone of the world maybe. Let's look around too. We got, I think, what do I got here that I like?
That's cool, you do keep them.
Maybe Resident Evil 7 was probably really fun because I'm just a big fan of like the little bespoke places and horror games. Dead Space was cool too because I think I mentioned the fact that the Ishimura is full of hamburgers because that's my favorite thing about Dead Space.
Right.
There's so many hamburgers on that shit.
Uneaten. Or partially eaten.
Yeah, and not enough people know about that. That wasn't talked about much in the remake.
You're sending those letters, getting the word out, grassroots style.
Exactly.
You ready for Da Bomb Beyond Insanity?
Yeah.
I'm getting into the last dab in lieu of Da Bomb. And we'll see how that goes for me.
Why am I so bad at opening? Where's the perforation here? Because I feel like I'm missing it every time. Okay.
Ever so delicate.
Yeah, this is wild. This is wild times. Okay. So this one, yeah, it's the bomb.
Nice.
Yeah, I really just feel like being drunk. It's weird.
I am glad this show's going on so long because I know Sean Evans can handle all the spice, no problem, because he's done it so many times in a row. He seems to have built a kind of immunity almost.
I'm scared because I know it's just gonna all like fall out. Like it's not coming out, and it's like
until suddenly it comes out in one bottle-shaped
exactly.
chunk.
Okay, now I got it. I think I got a little bit of it. Like I want to put an actual bit because I don't want to. Oh shit, that's too much. Fuck. All right, well.
Good luck.
What are you gonna do?
Good luck to you.
There wasn't really another option. Okay.
Cheers.
It kind of tastes like medicine.
Okay. Can you hold the bottle up one more time?
Which I don't like. It tastes like Dayquil. Kind of. But like hot Dayquil.
Which version do you have? Is it the reformulated or whatever?
Let's see. Mine says it's hot as fuck. The Bomb Evolution.
Okay.
Here at
Right, the one they redesigned to be slightly less horrible, or just as horrible, but
it's
also
definitely
good.
really hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely really hot.
My last dab's getting a little nuts as well.
And I can't like close the bottle. It like doesn't. Okay, there we go. Whoo! That's hot.
What you got for spice mitigation?
I have milk, but I don't want to use it.
Wow. Just water for Da Bomb.
This is kind of nice though because it's like it's an excuse to cry, and like I feel like that's always welcomed.
Absolutely. Your body just knows it cried. It doesn't know why.
Oh my god. Look at my heart rate because I feel like it's pumping. But yeah, it's really spicy. Maybe I should do the milk.
What is your heart
I
rate?
should do the milk. It is. Hold on, it's measuring.
Heart just started beating.
126.
Okay. Nice milk sip.
Ugh. God, milk's so gross. Whew, it's hot. But it's weird because it just burns. Like.
You don't even like milk with like a cookie?
Not really. I really just have milk to have like my protein shakes.
Wow. And you disliked it before, right? You didn't just build a negative association from having it be a health thing?
One time when I was a kid, I drank warm milk, like warm white milk. And I threw it up. So I feel like after that, it was like, what if we just didn't do this anymore?
I'm out on that.
I was watching Toy Story, and I threw up like in my living room. It was wild.
Damn, cat moment.
100%. 100%. On the carpet too, so worse than a cat. My cat. At least.
True. My cat is pretty good about not doing it on my things.
Do you think cats know?
Maybe in some sense they want to puke on a flat surface. I don't know. It's amazing. They're amazing creatures. Let's say you got a $1 million grant to hire folks for Pen to Pixels and be editor-in-chief of the operation. Lay out your content strategy.
Okay. I think, that's tough. Because 1 million, it's like, do I want to take some of that just for me? So that's one question I have to ask. Like, am I just like pocketing some of that just for like the editing work existing?
Being able to run for longer.
Yeah, so I'm going to ignore that aspect, but I definitely would take some percentage. I think that would be like, hey, I can live. Like, I get a runway. Yeah, 99 salary of the founder, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can. I feel like $1 million is like way too much money. Like you don't need $1 million. Yeah, so I'd have some to myself, and then other than that, my strategy would be probably. Well, I think it depends too. Do people know I got the $1 million, or is the $1 million like a secret $1 million?
Let's say it's a secret $1 million.
Oh fuck yeah! I love a secret $1 million.
They're everywhere.
Another secret $1 million.
They're
Great.
all around us.
So if it's a secret $1 million, that's nice because I can still like try to create more longevity without people being like, "What happened to your $1 million?" I would do I don't know if I have it written in my notes app. I don't think I do have it handy. But I would probably come up with an amount to spend annually as like, so I'll do one annual run. But sort of showing people, hey, here's the kind of stuff we can do. And I think I would do probably, I'm making it up because I'm not actually gonna like think about it too much because it's not real and it would take a really long time. Right. But probably let's make it up like 2 reviews a month, 2 features a month. Each review would have video and also maybe have like a social version as well. Then what we could do, so that could be like the test case, like us running at full capacity would be something like that, right? And then what I really want to do and what I plan to do, spoilers for the future, whenever I do end up fundraising money for it. And then so we do that, we do whatever for a year. And then we launch like some type of funding and say like, hey, this is how much these things cost. And then we kind of pay based on that. And I don't know, maybe I use some of that money too to like do some trips for people because I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be great to do like if I had like $1 million, you know, Pen to Pixels, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't call them staff because I feel like it's weird to call people staff when they're not full time, like getting a full time paycheck. Sure. So like contributors maybe. It's like, hey, we contracted out like these 4 people to go to PAX. We got them credentialed. We paid for their hotel. We paid for their food. You know, like they can just expense it, go, and they can produce X amount of articles. Maybe it's like 2 or something like mandatory. The rest is maybe like more optional where it's like, hey, whatever you're interested in, something like that. So like doing some trips would be really cool, especially for like writers who have never been able to do that because it's so expensive to go to PAX. Like shout out to y'all in the community for like helping, you know, paying for our Patreon lets us do things like that. It is really expensive to go. I've gone on my own and I've gone like with companies and like it's definitely like, you know, a few grand, like $1,000 at least, I think, to go. Like if you're, you know, hotel, food, all that. Flight. So definitely that. And like my payment idea is I want to pay like an actual decent wage, which like I feel like has never been done in our industry. My plan is to have a base pay for reviews that rises based on length, and then also a somewhat hourly pay for game hours.
We have not confronted that.
So that if you play a game that's like, you know, 40 hours, like this math doesn't shake out right now because I don't remember what my breakdown was because I did write out like what my breakdown would be. It's like you should be able to get like $1,000+ for that. Like that is a lot of work because you didn't even write the review yet. Like, and not to mention if you were trying to hit more of an embargo, which I try not to be too anal about the embargoes or all that, but that's the kind of thing I want to like put out there because I feel like so many people, and it kind of is what it is when you work in this industry, but also like it doesn't have to be like there's no reason. That's kind of why like I built my career the way I have it now. Like I don't need Pen to Pixels to generate like a bunch of revenue directly. Like we don't have ads on our site. The plan is to never have ads on the site. I don't know if that'll change like when the BlackBerry guy and that mockumentary ended up eventually making the BlackBerry made in China, even though he didn't want to. Like, hey, I don't know what my future holds, but like me and like my designer, who's just Isaiah, like don't want to do an ad model because we hate ads. So it's like, okay, cool. So I like, it's like, I don't know. And I think a lot of people are at this point, like, I'm not eating off this like that anyway. So why am I also evil? Like, I just feel like I'd rather, you know, raise like $1,000, $2,000 and only get a few pieces than to get like a bunch of pieces at $10 a piece, even though I totally could, because like, and no one would be upset because it's like, oh, well, you're just small, you don't really make a lot of money. It's like, yeah, like, but like, why do you, like, what is the point of that? Like, I just don't understand what the point of having a small site that doesn't even make that much money being like highly exploitative. You're not gonna make, I don't know, it just seems like a waste to me. So that's what I'd essentially do with like the $1 million. I'd fund a minimum a year. Also, you know, paying video editors well, so I want people to feel good about the amount of money they make doing the labor they do. Like I feel like the ideal labor situation is when you get paid, you're like, yeah, like I got a pretty good amount for like not necessarily that much work. Like, it should not feel, how bad are those freaking gigs where you're like, man, like, I'm only getting this much money and you're dying for it. Like, I hate that. I think it sucks.
And you're kind of rushing to end it because it's like, I have this set amount of money and it's getting less and less worth the amount of money the more time I put into it.
So I would fund a year and then I would come up with a monetization plan for generally. And then I feel like I'd also decide or whatever amount of money to like just spend on the stuff. And then like when that runs out, it runs out. But that way we can kind of have, hey, here's like a year of what our idea is. Here's what it would cost to fund that. Let's see how much money we could raise. Because at the end of the day, like $1 million, you know, that could go. And especially if we want to create something like more like longevity standing wise. I don't know, maybe there's probably logistical things too where I could put that money directly into like actually using the LLC that I like made and haven't used yet. Or like maybe putting some of that into like an investment to like fund whatever, even though it gets messy using personal money for like business stuff too. But that's basically what I would do. I would have a year where it's like, here's what we can do. And then I would try to get more sustainable funding. But also, Chas, would I encourage community submitted articles? Nah, I don't, because I think it's just another form of, I've had a lot of people approach me asking to write for me for free, and I've turned them down, and I'm like, please don't ask people to write for them for free.
I've had people ask
No one knows where my website is, I promise you.
Yeah, I've people ask to edit my stuff for free.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, and it's, I mean, obviously, I got my whole start in this industry off of a free internship, an unpaid internship. And so, of course, I'm of two minds on that. But it is like, I just wouldn't feel right doing it at all. Even if it's ostensibly giving somebody an opportunity, it's like, this is time in our lives that we won't get back and could spend on a real job. And not even to get into the unpaid nature being such a gate for people who can't afford to stop the rest of their life for months at a time.
For sure. So that's what I would do with $1 million, generally speaking.
Good answer. I like to scroll to the bottom of guests' Twitter feeds on this show to dig up some deep cuts from their past, but I scrolled down yours for a full 10 minutes and was still only in March of this year. How have you been feeling about social media's place in your life?
How am I feeling? I feel pretty good. I do want to spend a little less time on social media just to... Also, are we doing the next sauce or do we wait?
Oh, we wait. We can wait for this one.
I'm scared. Okay. I want to spend a little bit less time just to put time into other things. Like, I love being on social media and like talking to people, but I also like really need to make more content, you know, and like also kind of want to like read a book, like, you know, which I haven't done in a while.
Sure.
So
that's the dream.
I do think like it's easy to spend a little time frequently, you know, on social media. So I'm trying to be a little bit more like, hey, like, I don't know, let me not like spend like a long amount of time on here. But generally I like being on social media. I have fun just connecting with other people about like games and content. I feel like for me, obviously there's the ego of creation where it's like, oh, you made something and you're like, oh, wow, this is really good. You should read it and check it out. And like, sure, I have that too, like any other creator. But genuinely, I really like talking to people about the stuff, the content, the games, like all of that. And I feel like social media, I get to do that and then also like connect with peers. So I generally like it. I do think there's obviously like a lot of toxicity that can go around, especially like right now we're in a very like toxic era of games currently, unfortunately. Sure. But overall, I'd say it's pretty good times. And yeah, I don't know. I think I have so many posts because I'm always writing, I'm always talking. So it's so easy for me to make like a million tweets while like on TikTok, I'm like, all right, time to will myself to make that one video. And it's like, okay, damn, again? I'm really busy right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I don't mean any judgment by that question. But on something you said earlier, that is something that is so hard about social media. Is when I was on Twitter more and thinking and trying to just limit it, I found it so hard to like stick to 10 minutes a day and not find other ways to do more. It's so like you just get sucked in and it's hard to disengage. And for me, it's just easier to just not engage. But I know it. But it is. There's so much fun about it, and there is certain parts of it that are worthwhile. Ready for sauce number 9?
Yeah. Okay, this is Matasanos, which like I should have brought the Brita out here because I almost out of water. And I have like water from my cup, but then like I don't want to drink out the cup because then I feel like I'm all spicy. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
So yeah, okay. This is the sauce.
Cool,
that last one was pretty rough, so that's a little scary. But this is the penultimate sauce.
Yeah. It's also paced a little like a cooldown between the bomb and the last stab.
Okay.
hopefully. I'm on my buffalo wings now. What's the last tab? God.
Okay. I see what you mean.
I can't explain it.
There's still kick, though.
I can't explain it at all, but every episode of this I've done, since the first one, including the first one, the last dab part, it's like, there's almost a nostalgia that comes into me when I bite it. It's like, so painful, but so comforting the moment I get that exact flavor. I really can't put it into words, but it's a Stockholm Syndrome type of thing, I guess.
So yeah, this did feel like the cooldown that you promised, so.
Good.
Shout out to your assessment. It was very accurate.
Thank you. Because you have rare, overlapping insight, rank the internal communication skills for Remap Radio, Kinda Funny, MinnMax, and Indian Former.
Oh man, that's wild. Okay, let's see. This is also tough because I'm thinking of what needs to be communicated, which is also like kind of a, it's tough to compare like Indian Horror, for instance, to like Remap, MinnMax, and Kinda Funny because we aren't like monetized in any way. Like we don't even have a way for you to give us money if we like, if you wanted to. I'm like, you can just send it to me or Jill's Patreon. Like, I don't know. We didn't have like a communal funnel.
For the podcast.
So I think, but as far as the skills, I mean, I think it's tough because I don't want to like rank, does Indian Form get ranked last because it's less of a lift? Because I do think we're really good at like, hey, I can't do this time. It's like, it's good because it's brief. It's like, hey, I can't do the show. Okay, cool. Like, and then it's, all right, I can do the show. All right, I'll see you there. And then it's like, here's a link.
If they're the least problems, maybe it gets ranked the best.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's tough. This is so tough. And then Remap, I also don't work as like heavily, where it's like, I'm just there for the show. I would put, man. This is so hard. It's like the hardest question. And then let me think, I'm trying to think what are the problems of like all the places.
Yes, you can start with MinnMax.
I think MinnMax's problem, I mean, we've fixed a lot of the problems we've had. I mean, we still don't really use the calendar, but I think we make it work. But I think also like that could probably still be a problem. And I think, honestly, like to be honest, like I might even bring this up generally. I get why we do it, but I'm so tired of planning the week on Monday. I feel like because I want to plan my week before Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, like when are we doing this show? Like I kind of hate, and it's like we do the show almost at the same amount of time, like same time, which is great. But at the same time, it's like, even something like this where we're like, Ben's like, oh, could you do it a different time? I'm like, no. I'm like, but if you had told me a day ago,
totally,
I could have been more free, you know?
That's
so it's
valid.
like, I think that's like probably the roughest part.
If you want to do them on Fridays,
Kind of funny
for the next week.
Would
you want to do them on Fridays for the next week?
Yeah, but then no one wants to meet on a Friday, so it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no win.
And then do people know their week? It's something I want to bring up because it's like, I get maybe sometimes the best thing is still like a shit option. Like maybe Monday really is the best, but it's kind of like,
let's explore.
Like it's already kind of late, and then sometimes we don't really get solidified till like Tuesday. It's like, you know. Yeah. So there's that. That's definitely a doctor point. Kind of funny. What's Kind of Funny's problem? We use Trello a lot. I think Trello works for them pretty good.
Trello.
I don't do a lot of like bigger project stuff. I feel like they're probably fine because they funnel most stuff through Greg and Tim.
And you can like observe their bigger project style, right? Or are you not privy?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've done a couple things. Like I did their like that TikTok off like Halloween Horror Nights, and I've done like their Gotham Nights like preview and stuff. But like that's been pretty good. Yeah, the Trello works for them pretty well. I'm trying to think. What's the worst thing about that? Honestly, I think they have to probably get. You know what? I might just be toxic and put them at the bottom solely because they have booked Game of the Year on my birthday 2 years in a row, and I think for that they're at last place.
Yes, that's fair.
Especially because the second year, Tim was like, you know what's crazy? It was your birthday last year. I'm like, Tim, you gotta be so fucking for real right now. So you know what? I'm gonna put Kind of Funny last.
This day that it keeps being your birthday? Weird.
I was like, why is this not in the? And they use the calendar a lot and really well. But I'm like, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna put y'all last because I worked on my birthday 2 years in a row. So that's automatic last. I think I might put Remap second to last because I think it is pretty lax. But I think in that laxness, like they probably like have some things that might like get shuffled. Like I think it kind of reminds me of my own personal schedule where I'm like, it's all the same, except it isn't. You know, it's like let me fix it. So I'm gonna put remap second to last. Then I'm gonna put indie council, just because we don't have a lot going on. So I'm like, it's like pretty like bare bones. Then I'll put, I guess MinnMax, right?
That's all that's left.
I guess so.
Wow.
You hate to see it. I know the bias of, and then when Remap asks me this question, I'll flip it. So you know, it's just the situation. But yeah, I think for our issues, we have made a lot of strides in communication. But I will say, like, MinnMax has the edge because I'm fully in their communication circle to like see what works and what doesn't work as well.
Yeah, a bigger part of it.
But yeah,
the communicating.
I think our game codes channel really has improved life a lot.
That is a great channel.
To me.
Hanson always posts the code for the game and a trailer so we can see what the game is without a description, which he also gives. God bless him. Ready for the last dab?
Yeah. Whew.
Okay. Substantial amount for me, please.
I'm not even gonna read anything because it's gonna like, I don't want to get psyched out. Okay.
And then it's tradition around here to put a little extra on the last wing. My wing shot out of my hands.
One thing that's been happening to me, I'll put some extra then, is sometimes when I bite into it, like there's spray.
Yeah.
From the sauce, and I'm scared that's gonna go to my eye and end my day.
Yes.
All right.
I'm wiping sauce off of my floor mat.
All right, I'm in.
Milk it, I'm coming.
No, not too bad so far, but I do have a fear that something will happen that changes that.
Fear.
I'm gonna wait a little bit before I eat more of it because I feel like if I ate more of it, it would be, you know, like, this was a mistake. Mm-hmm. It's like when you, again, using the drink comparison, it's like, what if I did that? What, let's do another shot. No, you should not have. Mm-hmm. That was the one that sent you somewhere else. It feels fine so far, honestly.
Wow.
Should I go again? Should I eat it again? I think here's the thing. If it hits the back of your throat in a weird way, you'll get caught up. And I am feeling a build in the back.
That means you should have another bite.
I'm the
host. I kind of know the rules and stuff and the general practices. That means you need another bite. Yep.
Okay. This wasn't too bad. I mean, I don't know what might happen in the next 5 minutes, so that's scary.
Okay. Janet, you're one of the most prolific podcasters in the space right now, like a one-woman set of McElroy brothers. My challenge for you as we struggle with this 10th wing is to host a little mini podcast right now where you are an entire roundtable of hosts, all named Janet Garcia, having a spirited debate on the topic of your choosing, or else I can provide you with one.
Provide me with the topic.
The console wars. Okay, I'll do the theme music. Sorry, I'll give you the intro.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hello and welcome back to the Jancast. We are a listener-supported show, so you can drop your support over on patreon.com/GameOnasis, and that money gets divided between each of us, of which there are 3 who are the same person. I'm your host, Jan Garcia. Joining me is Jay. What's up? And Jan. How's it going? Today we are talking about a heated topic for a spicy show, the console wars. And there's 3 of us here, so I think it only makes sense that each of us takes up a mantle, a flag, if you will, for that console. So, I think it's no surprise. I'm gonna go Nintendo, right? It's like, that's the console I've had the longest. It's the one that everyone's like, why are you always bringing up Nintendo? Even though when I was on the Nintendo podcast, they're like, this person doesn't like Nintendo. So, you know, I think if they all just talked to each other, it would be different. But so I'm gonna go Nintendo. Jay, I think you're gonna, let's have you pull from the hat and for the remaining 2. Okay, cool. Xbox. I like it. Okay, this is not, because it's got that edge to it a little bit. I feel like it fits the name, the moniker a little bit. Yeah. This also, this is giving, I interviewed himself as TIP, which I love, which was so funny. So yeah, so Jay's gonna go Xbox, and then So yeah, I'm Jan, and I'm gonna go with the remaining one, the PlayStation. You know, you love it, you hate it. What would you rate it? This is the console I had for the second longest, and it was the one that I really got to sort of pair with the Nintendo console. So while like I still had access to both, it definitely have like, you know, strong nostalgia for PlayStation. Yeah, you know, it's interesting too, because for me, this is Jay speaking. For me, it's totally different because I didn't get into Xbox till Xbox One, but at the same time, like I think one of the most, and I guess this is where we can start, right? Like what are the consoles known for and what are their strengths? So for me, like on the Xbox side of things, I really knew I came in the Xbox One, so I was really excited for like ReCore, Rip to ReCore, because that didn't turn out well. There's stuff like, you know, Sunset Overdrive. So I think there was a lot of, especially at the launch, freshness and fight for the identity of Xbox. I think is their history. You know, like you look at that documentary where they like cover the Xbox, and like it's not something Microsoft even wanted to make. So it's really like a sector of Microsoft that's like, hey, let us do our passion project. And I feel like you feel that in that initial push towards making it really powerful. At the same time, though, modern era Xbox is kind of, you know, the play nice console, the play anywhere console, the Game Pass machine, if you will. And I think in gaining that identity, they've struggled to hold on to what initially made them original. But also, I shouldn't get into that. We're doing pros, right? Pros. Okay, yeah. Play anywhere.
You're really militant. This is producer Leo here. You're really militant for your party, and you're getting mad at each other, maybe.
Okay.
Just for, you know, exciting.
The best deal in gaming? Okay, let's just go straight debate, right? The best deal in gaming. You're not gonna play the games anyway. Just get them. You get them all at once. Boom. It's done. We all need a way to play our DVDs. It stands tall. It looks kind of reflected at the top. And it's easier to pair with my PC. So there you go. And you know what? If you didn't like Starfield, maybe you were too dumb to understand it. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, isn't spoon-fed to you.
That's the problem.
When people think video games, they think Nintendo. Ask anyone in the streets and name a video game character. Who are they naming? Who are they? That's right, Mario. Our games are so good, it doesn't even matter that it looks like shit, and you're still gonna buy it, and you'll say fucking thank you, because we can pull up with one title the whole year gets Game of the Year. Boom. It's done. That's what it's like. When we drop, everything else stops. Okay, what's the other one? PlayStation?
Jan's got that one. Or Jay.
We are gaming prestige. All right? Say what you want. Like, when motherfuckers come out the woodwork to hate on AAA gaming, who are they hating on? That's right. The person leading the way in the fidelity, in the graphics, in the feeling. You don't want to walk and talk? Well, get walking and get talking. Because say what you want. Those same people hating on these titles? Let me see their top 10 list. Let me see their top 10 list. Our most boring game, Marvel's Spider-Man, is better than most studios will ever put out in their whole fucking life. That's how John Blaze our stuff is. We got LeBron, we got faceplates, we got style, we got prestige. We got it all, you know? Ratchet's just Mario, but fuzzier.
Even fuzzier. Wow, Janet, amazing. I would listen to that show.
Thank you.
Janet Garcia, taken on the wings of death and dying. Sorry, I made an assumption. I should have had an alt for that. Living. Now there's nothing left to do but roll out the red carpet for you. This camera, let the people know what you've got going on in your death life.
In my death? Okay. As I've transcended onward, I'm gonna probably put this sticker somewhere on my water bottle.
Yes.
I have stuff going up on pentapixels.com, so I'm really trying to make more content this year, which like is pretty easy because I didn't make a lot of content last year. Yeah. So it's so funny. People have been like, "You're really putting in the work," and I'm like, "You mean I'm putting in work?" I didn't do a lot last year, but really trying to, you know, change that, be more down to write stuff. Also be more down to like write stuff beyond hitting the embargo. The embargoes have really been holding me back, and I'm trying to let that go. I did so with my last review, Botany Manor. Go give that a read. The next thing I'm working on is Tales of Kenzara Zao. I'm still playing through that game, but once I'm done, we'll be writing up the review for that. TBD on the other titles. And I will be putting out, as I look at the calendar, in fear, Best of 2024, part one, quarter one, essentially. Still have not played all the games that I want to, which is always a bummer, but I'm like, hey, I'm already a month behind. It's time to write it. It's time to hit publish. So stay tuned for those titles for what I am looking at for my top 10 as of this moment. Everything else, you can check me out on youtube.com/GameOnyssist, twitch.tv/GameOnyssist, long form Let's Play with Persona 5 Royal. Short form stuff is like whatever's hot in the streets. So I did not Baldur's Gate. Why am I hallucinating? What is this game? It's basically Baldur's Gate, but it's like more broken. What is it? Dragon's Dogma 2. So I played that last week. I spent most of my time with the character creator. But yeah, whatever's hot and out most recently, that'll be Friday, and for long form stuff Tuesday. But yeah, check out my content. Leo, you are a hero I want to use my time to thank Leo for hosting so many shows in a row. The best part of this job is getting to do it, but the worst part is having to do it. So shout out to you for jumping on the call and being the one to resize the squares, because that's honestly how privileged my life is. That is one of the worst things I have to do, resize squares. But, you know.
But it does psychological damage long term. Yeah.
We have no way of knowing.
You're so welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Of course, Ben Hansen writing a lot of these questions. Shouts out to him from the wings. Wow. Wordplay, huh?
Wings.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thanks everybody for watching New Show Plus. Again, you can vote every week at our Backstage Pass tier on what show we create or continue. Will this keep smashing records, or will we finally get to stop eating such spicy stuff? You decide next week. We also have obviously the podcast this week and regular stuff, and we also have Max spoilers on the Fallout show next week. So that'll be streamed on Twitch. Keep an eye out for that and the Discord announcements for when that'll be. Thanks everybody so much for watching, and you be good and have fun, and let's go.
Every week, we let Patreon supporters choose which new show we create with New Show Plus. Should we create another episode of the show you just watched? Check out the biggest new game release? Get into Sea of Thieves? Create an exercise show? It is your call. So thanks to everybody who subscribes on YouTube or supports us over on Patreon. MinnMax exists because of you. As always, if you enjoy MinnMax content, any help telling a friend is appreciated.